Good evening. Welcome to Auroville Festival 2023. This year, Auroville's festival is the theme of the festival is the first quality of mother's symbol, sincerity. And we are today on the day 6 of the event. And every day we have a theme, and today it is dedicated to Mahakali, and the theme of the day is power. And in the city conversation, we are going to talk about the aspect of industrial zone. And I have with me Nahar, Uma, Prasad, and Debo to discuss various aspects of the industrial zone. In this session, let us explore the dynamic of power generated by the units which participate actively by contributing their income towards the development of the township. We need to strengthen our domain of abundance and prosperity. As we struggle through, our understanding of power will evolve as an attribute of Mahakali's grace for each one to freely organize life not according to his or her financial means, but inner capabilities and capacities. And let me introduce for the ones who are new here, the format is such that we will look at the aspirational aspects of the industrial zone, why mother has dedicated a zone for the industry, what is the aspirational value, it cannot be just to generate income. And then we will also look at it. I would like to hear your initial thoughts about it, and I would like you to reflect on this industrial zone from two aspects. What do you think are the aspiration for us from an individual perspective, and what is the aspiration from a collective perspective? And then from there, we will slowly go into the how aspects. What are the roots, what are the aspects we need to have so that we can achieve that higher aspiration that we have in Auroville for the industrial zone. And in the end, we will look into the immediate, the doables, the things that we need in place, the things that we need to manifest so that we can reach the summit that mother has set for us. Yeah. All right. So coming back to what she little bit touched upon, Nahar, she said, she runs a successful entity called Upasana, and she said it's not just my making. She said there is a lot that mother gave, or to an extent, if you look at it practically, the idea of Auroville, you ride as an individual entity also. There is this notion that Auroville, if it is a product of Auroville, it will have certain quality, it will have certain conscious approach towards it, so it will be sustainable. So when you start, you recently started an entity, and Kajimba, when you visualized it, how easy was it to, from the point of inception of the idea to actually manifesting it, and what do you think we can improve in that sphere? How can we make it easier for youngsters, or not just youngsters, any new Aurovillian to come and start working?
So I'll touch on it in a second. I just want to add one thing about the youth with money, because something I deal with personally. I work with 15 Auroville youth with Kajimba. Right. And I want to add to the maintenance. What's funny about the maintenance is it was started from what I heard from Dipti, for petrol and cigarettes. Because these are two things we couldn't come to a consensus on, and the community couldn't supply, so we started giving people a stipend so they could buy the petrol and cigarettes. It's kind of funny how moralism has led us down the path of money and deciding what we will and will not give people. Just as an interesting thing. For the youth, so Kajimba, one of the big things I started with is youth empowerment. Because one of the things which really helped me growing up in Auroville is that the kids are used as volunteers. And what that does to them is it gives them a starvation relationship with money. What I think is we should be teaching our kids to be value-positive entities. Because if you're a value-positive entity, you will get back. And I'm saying value-positive very consciously because money is only one such form of value, as Uma pointed out. There's many, many, many other forms of transaction for value generated to receive back. And I think if our kids are value-positive and they're entrepreneurial and they generate value for the world, they will get back both in money and energetically in other forms, like free living. There are many people who live without money because they just do work which is valuable for other people. Just something I'd like to point out. As to how do we start a business in Auroville?
Yeah.
It's, frankly, it's very unpleasant, and I do not recommend it. Like, it's so running a business is hard enough outside. It's harder in Auroville. I spent about 8 months with talking to the FAMC to get my unit registered. The amount of learning required and just running around talking to people is unbelievable. It's
Okay.
extremely complex to understand the system because Auroville has a pure jugaad system, right? It's all just patchworks and workarounds.
Yeah.
And trying to understand how to run a business in that is extremely complicated.
Right.
I am someone I like systems and I'm technically quite competent.
Right.
So I managed to go run around, understand, talk to everyone and lobby to
Right.
the FAMC. For most people, especially if they come from outside, they will just give up because it makes no sense. Our tax law is pointed out beautifully. We're basically taxing people.
Yeah.
Our tax law is hilariously bad. I mean, India has a bad tax law at this point for startups. Well, I would say if to improve it and make it easier, the first step would be documentation. Right? Is how do you do something? I want to get a business loan. Okay. You just Google it, you open an FAQ, you see business loan, how to open a unit. You
Yeah.
go there, oops, you see it. That would be the first step, is clear, simple documentation. The second step is spaces. I started Kajimba in youth center. And the kitchen was unbelievably dirty. Like, it's an open-air kitchen. I had to carry my cans for about 150 meters every day
Yeah.
to boil my drinks, and I was doing A to Z by myself for about, I had one partner for 6 months, he left, and I was there for a month and a half by myself. And then I got more people in. After youth center was no more, I found the place, the community kitchen of creativity, and it's where I'm to this day.
Yeah.
Because I cannot find a space to put my unit in. So we're in a kitchen in a residential community.
Yeah.
And because I've looked around for spaces, there's no spaces to lease. And if I'm leasing a space, I'm looking at 10 lakhs of investment that I have to put in just to renovate the space and buy,
start.
just as a base start. And then there is no money for that. So if I want to start a unit, I have to find money. If I want to find money, there is no money because there's the ABC loans on paper. That's 10% interest year over year. 10% interest business loans is hilariously bad.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. You need, literally worse than if I went outside and got a loan.
Right.
But the other option is I go outside, take a loan, and that's on my name. If the unit crashes, I take all of the risk and I get none of the benefits.
Yeah.
That's also non-functional. So, basically, in quick, how do we do it?
Yeah.
Easy loans and easy regulations and clarity.
Right.
And then, of course, supporting people to start businesses as opposed to trying to drag them down like lobsters.
Yeah.
And also, one thing I'd like to add about the economy, saying that the economy for Auroville the industrial zone should be used to support Auroville. This was thought up in the 60s. Our global economy is a lot less interdependent. In today's economy, we need phones, we need this mic, we need speakers, we need chairs.
Correct.
We cannot manufacture that. We will never be a phone manufacturer. That
Right.
means we will always be an importing and exporting economy,
Right.
which is something we have to come to terms with. And we say we generate value for Auroville, and then we send a lot of it out because stuff like construction, even, you can do projects pro bono in Auroville. You make your money outside. That's how you bring value in.
Right.
If she sells clothes outside and she can give some donations to Auroville, that would be
Right.
very nice. Also, in my case, I sell drinks in Auroville for 45 rupees a bottle.
Right.
Outside, I sell them for 75 to 100, simply
Right.
because at 45, I have no margins. And that's, I think, simple that we have to realize that we are both majorly an exporting economy and an importer, and that's completely okay.
Right. Thank you, Nahar.